And so, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every one of you, friends all from around the world. It really is such a joy for those of us who've been doing this a while to welcome you to this global conversation about peace, where it's our hearts and our voices and our service all coming together to make a real difference. Today, we're going to be continuing an important discussion that we began in June around mental health and well-being. And it's more than a topic. It is, in fact, a call to action. We are called to support mental health and wellness in probably three broad ways. Number one, creating awareness. Number two, supporting and helping with education. And number three, taking action, being advocates, using our voices and our hearts and our actions for mental health and wellness. So, in our families or our communities, we can create awareness around mental health and help destigmatize these wellness issues. Then we can move beyond that in some cases to support education about mental health, maybe starting conversations or hosting symposiums or just inviting a guest speaker to a place where you gather with friends and family or work. And finally, we can advocate. We can advocate for individuals or with entire communities for access to mental wellness supports. And those supports include each one of us. Each one of us can be a supportive person. So today we're going to check in with each other. How are you doing? Really, how are you and your circle of people doing? Um, and if you are a Lion or a Leo member, if you belong to a Lions Club or a Leo's Club, remember that we have our Global Service Week coming up October 4th to 12th. So it's your work, it's your caring that matters deeply. And if you're new and not a Lion or a Leo, reach out and join a local Leo or Lion activity that will be planned for the week of October 4th to 12th around mental health and wellness. So we're going to look ahead as well for our International Day of Peace, celebrated in connection with the United Nations program in September. And that's a chance for each of us as individuals or as groups of people to lead peace-related service activities right in our communities. And you can define community as local or global, whatever works for you. But whatever you do it with heart because peace isn't just a dream, it's something we have to build together, action by action, service by service. So thank you for showing up today. Thank you for leading with compassion. But let's get the conversation going. Before we go any further, we want to take just a moment to check in with you. You know where the chat is, I think, and we've got a poll for you if you like to use the poll. There are no wrong answers. There are only honest answers. And so let's be honest. Why lie to yourself? How are you doing? Are you going to choose I'm feeling good, balanced, energized? I'm okay. I'm handling things, but a bit tired. I'm hanging in there. I have some stress, but I'm getting through. Maybe today you're feeling overwhelmed or emotionally drained. Or maybe you're seeking calm and you're taking steps to care for your well-being. So there's the poll in front of you. Jody, Daniel, I know you're monitoring the poll. I'm going to pause while people think this through.
Daniel, I'm not seeing the poll right now. If you can pop that up. Otherwise, I did drop the
It
poll
is. It
questions.
it is up, and
Is
we've had
it? Awesome.
72, 73 responses so far, 65% participation. So just one moment, and we will
Fantastic.
see So I
Thank you,
should be
Daniel.
able to share the results.
Oh, thank you. All right, so now I hope everyone can see the results, but we don't assume that. So it turns out 36% of you are feeling good. That's more than a third. And another 34%, you're doing okay. You're handling things. And really, that's a good space to be in as well. 18% of you are hanging in there. And thank you for hanging in. And thank you for investing in yourself by being here today. 4% of you are feeling overwhelmed. And we hope that being part of this conversation today is going to help you find that next way forward that you need. And 8% of you, you're seeking calm. You're taking steps to care for your well-being. And that's part of what we'd like you to take away today is some of those steps that we can all take. Now, to achieve that, I'm going to invite one of our special guests, Kevin Guess. Now, Kevin Guess is a Lion, but beyond that, he is a community leader. He has been a leader within the Lions organization. Kevin, thanks for joining us today. You have a personal story of service, of leadership, of compassion. And I know as a leader, you know firsthand how important it is not only to serve with our hands, but also with our hearts. So I know that I've got a couple of questions I want to ask you today and invite you to share with everyone on this call. Um,
I'm
because we're
excited to be
here.
here.
Oh, thanks, Kevin. I know it's very early where you are. We're talking about mental health and just some practical guidelines that everybody who may not be a professional in this field at all, but who sees their friends, sees their family, sees their neighbors. So, you know, in the first point, how do we express to people why mental health and wellness matters so much to all of our communities?
Well, to make it very simply, mental health is essential to everyone's total well-being.
Mm.
It impacts how we think, feel, connect, and cope. Unaddressed mental health challenges don't just affect individuals, they ripple outward, impacting families, workplaces, schools, and entire communities. And yet, stigma often keeps people silent. Many suffer alone rather than speak up. That's why awareness, compassion, and simple human connection are so important and powerful. Lions, Leos, and many other organizations are known for stepping in when others step back. Whether someone is facing stress, grief, anxiety, depression, trauma, addiction, or even burnout, our role is to listen, comfort, and gently guide them to available resources. We're not counselors, but we are people who care. And that's definitely enough to make a difference.
Oh, Kevin, like you said, to listen, to connect, and to gently guide them. All of us can do that. And we don't have to be trained professionals, right? So where do we start that process? Can you give us some guidance on that, please?
Sure, when someone is or seems emotionally distressed, the first step is to create a space where they feel safe and seen. Our willingness and ability to see people and meet them where they're at is incredibly powerful. And it's also very, very empowering. We have to be approachable. That means smiling, making eye contact, speaking in a calm, non-judgmental curiosity, and using open, supportive language. For example, instead of saying, "What's wrong with you?" let's try, "How have you been doing lately?" Instead of saying, "You should get help," we should try, would you like to talk about what's going on? Again, our verbal and paraverbal in tone and inflection is a key role in engaging people. Our ability to just speak with our lion's heart really is our way in, and it is a huge way to level the playing field, empower those that may be in need. And that moment could really be the difference between someone really being able to turn it around quickly or going down into a deeper hole, which could create greater problems. And that's really our position. And it's a tremendous opportunity.
And what you said about, asking, do you want to talk about it? I know from my experience, quite often the first time they don't. But it's about being there for people and maybe the next day saying, how are you today? And did you want to talk about what's going on? So they know you genuinely are prepared and ready to listen because they aren't always ready the first time, right, Kevin?
Absolutely. And even small shifts in language can help someone feel less alone. And it's really important to remember that our role isn't to fix or analyze. Our role is really and very simply to listen and model empathy. I think what you said, Patty, was really poignant in that a lot of times you may not think you made a difference in that moment, but I can tell you there have been many, many times when even sometimes 6, 7 months later, I've had one of our members at my agency come back and say, I haven't spoken with you, but thank you for that day. You never know how long it takes to make that impact. It's just the fact that you were there. They may not accept it or see it in the moment, but one thing we all have in common as human beings, 9 times out of 10 before our head hits the pillow, we think about our day, we think about what was said, we think about what we did, and we just never know how positive and powerful the impact we have on others can be.
Oh, you're right, Kevin. So help us here with this. Like, do you have any magic tools for us? And even as I say that, we know there is no magic tool, but there are many tools, many resources. And so can you suggest something for us that we can take away today?
Absolutely. I was when I was asked to be a part of this, I my first thought was, well, we're going to be talking to everyday people, everyday lions. And I do want to clarify, I am not licensed, but I have 15 years in the industry and I started from the ground up and I literally learned from the ground up the clinical side of working in this field. But the most important thing that I've learned and the greatest tool that I've seen is called WRAP, WRAP, and it's an acronym for the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And to spell it out very, very simply, it is one useful tool for self-awareness and personal well-being. The Wellness Recovery Action Plan, while you're not creating one for others, you can introduce the idea and encourage reflection. Now, the beauty of this is anyone and everyone can create their WRAP plan. And for many of you, once we talk about this, you may already have your WRAP plan that's really disguised in how you go through your everyday life. And after we talk about this, I guarantee you many of you will say, well, I already have a WRAP plan. And that's absolutely true. Essentially what it is there are 6 key parts to a WRAP plan. The first is the wellness toolbox. And you just simply ask, what helps you feel better on tough days? The second key part is daily maintenance. We encourage consistency in sleep, connection, movement, and healthy routines. The third are triggers. We want to help those and help ourselves recognize situations or people that increase our stress or emotional instability. Fourth is early warning signs. It's important that we invite them to notice shifts in mood, sleep, behavior, and or energy. And also, these are things we can apply to our own personal lives. Number 5, crisis plan. What we want to do is ask, well, who would you call if things got really hard? Where could you go for support? What we call it is a pit crew, is how we talk to our people. Who are the people involved that you know you can pick up the phone anytime, day or night, and you know they're going to answer. And if they don't answer, you know they're coming. And it's important to have those kind of people in our lives. And we believe for most of us, we have those folks. And last is the post-crisis plan. After a difficult period, how can you reestablish routine, safety, and support to retake control of your life and move forward? Now, remember, the goal is to spark personal insight, reduce shame, and encourage agency. And I think it's really important that I think one of the most important roles we can play when we're having these conversations and engaging people is our role is much like Lions is to empower others to speak their truth and have a voice.
You know, that's true. And we're going to drop, this wrap information into the chat for everybody. And I think probably through the magic of Jody and Daniel, it'll be an attachment that all of our participants will receive. So you can review it again in the follow-up email. But, you talk about just that daily check-in, what can I do today that makes me feel better,
Yes.
right? And focusing on those small next steps. When I was working in the psychology field, especially with adolescents suffering, depressive symptoms or sometimes actual clinical depression, we worked a lot on daily routines for wellness because if they could establish a routine even of walking every day and looking after some physical wellness, they were proving to themselves they could establish new habits,
Absolutely.
right? So small steps can make a big difference. The other thing that I always asked people to try to build into their routine was a time every week when they helped somebody else to get out of their own heads, to think about others. And literally, you and I know there are clinical research reports that volunteering is good for mental health, right?
It's
Now,
absolutely so. Yes,
now we're
absolutely.
talking about we're focused on mental health and mental well-being.
Yes.
Not everyone on this call is a crisis professional, but what would you say to people who realize someone in their family, someone in their workplace, someone in their community is approaching or dealing with crisis?
That's a really great question. Sometimes someone's pain may run deeper. They may be overwhelmed, afraid, or considering self-harm.
Mm,
In these moments, our presence really does matter. And I have a few suggestions on what to do.
okay.
First one is stay calm and grounded. Uh, if you notice, um, Patty is very, very measured in her speech, and that is definitely a trait that we learn. When things start to get a little bit fast, it's really important that we slow down, because if we slow down, the other person will start to mirror that, and we're presenting a calm, really supportive approach where we're very, very measured. We bring our tone down. We're very, very empathetic. We are really trying to convey caring and empathy. Second piece is as we speak softly, we want to set that pace, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Listen more than you talk. Say things like, that really sounds hard, or I hear you. Give them space. It's really important not to crowd them physically or emotionally. And that's a technique that we call holding the space. Our ability to just zip it, let them talk. One of the most important things that I've learned when we're engaging someone that is in crisis is a lot of times just holding that space and letting them speak. I've seen many, many times where they talk themselves down, and you can see the physical release where their shoulders slump and they're no longer in crisis because you were able to hold the space and let them just talk themselves out. A lot of times people just need to be heard in those moments. We also want to ask open-ended questions. Can you tell me more about what's going on? We want to encourage them to get out whatever they need to get out. And then we want to encourage help. We want to remind them that they're not alone, that they don't have to do this alone, and that there are people who want to help, including us, because we're here with you. Again, after you've taken those steps, we also want to be watching for warning signs. And those warning signs include talking about someone who's talking about suicide or self-harm. Are they feeling hopeless, trapped, or like a burden?
Mhm.
And we want to continue to move forward to provide those supportive interventions.
We really do. Too often, people say, in hindsight, looking back, perhaps there were signs. And I think each of us can probably learn to be a bit more attentive. And as you say, give us space where someone might open up a bit more about those comments that we might otherwise just breeze past and not really acknowledge. So if someone is in imminent danger, I mean, we all need sort of first aid. We're not the doctor. I'm not the emergency room professional. But if someone's in imminent danger, what do we do?
Well, first thing is stay with them.
Mhm.
That's a critical point. That's when we don't leave. Even if they're trying to push you away, we want to stay present. And that's sometimes where you have to be intentional in your thoughts and action. And that, I'm really concerned about you. I'm not comfortable walking away from you. I'm not here to pressure you, but I really just want to stay with you to make sure you're safe and okay. We want to encourage them to connect with either maybe they have a family member, or if there's no one else present, we might want to suggest getting in contact with a local crisis line where they can get professional help. And that's a key for us as lay people to be able to have those connections and those contacts. And then if it's absolutely critical and you don't have an answer, then at that point, we might want to step in and call 911 or emergency services. Some areas out here in California, we have smart teams and we have crisis intervention teams 24/7 that we can access. And those are professionals that are literally ready to go, almost like paramedics, to be spot on, normally within 20 minutes to half an hour, where they can get there and provide those really supportive interventions in real time. And just remember, you don't need to have all the answers. We just need to be there.
That's so important. And knowing how to contact an emergency service. You don't have to be the emergency service. Know how to connect people to an emergency service.
Absolutely.
Uh, Thank you so much. So, um, I may have a PhD in psychology, but you've been a frontline worker as well. You've had an incredible role in mental health support. So what do you say to other people who have concerns, who care about mental health and well-being, who see, as you've said, the impact on self, the impact on physical wellness, on workspace, on family, the ripple effect? What do you say to people who don't feel like a professional but want to offer mental health support?
That's a fantastic question. And to put it very, very clearly, you do not need a title or a degree to make an impact. You just need to be present. We want to be a bridge and not a barrier. When someone opens up, they're showing courage. We reflect that courage by being kind, calm, and consistent. Saying things like, you're not alone, help is available, it's okay to talk about this. Another important tool is to, and I think it's something we're working on with Jody and Daniel, we want to develop a resource card to keep in your wallet so that you have your things right there where you can put it in your wallet, pull it out of your purse, and it gives you very key points to be able to work through that incident and be present. We want to share them with the club, your workplace, your neighborhood, your friends, your communities. And we want to model the openness that we hope to see in others. And I think those are the keys.
Thank you so much for that, because as we started out during this session, we talked about, creating an awareness so that people are comfortable having the conversations or opening up about mental health and wellness. As you've said so eloquently, creating a space where it feels safe and secure, and they know that you're going to be empathetic and non-judgmental. But then, after awareness, we need to be educated. Resource cards that we can carry. I know in many different countries around the world, Lions have taken the initiative to have pamphlets, handouts, almost like a bookmarker, as you say, a resource card, something that fits in a wallet, that acts is the quick go-to guide for how do we access those locally relevant services. And we also want to point out that some of you here, and I see it in the chat, are already opening up about situations you're encountering in your life. And if you need some support as well, take care of ourselves, right? We all have to take care of ourselves. I thank you for doing that. And if these resources are going to be helpful to you and your family as well, then we're happy to have shared them. I know you put together some global mental health supports. Do you want to just call out a few of those global
Absolutely.
ones? Thanks.
Absolutely. And I do want to give a shout out to Daniel because we had a long conversation about this. And, I think I'm really honored to be here to be able to speak to so many of us from all over the world. It's truly an honor and privilege. But, Daniel really challenged me to think more on a global scale. And, we get kind of stuck here in the USA, but this opportunity has really opened up while I was doing my research about some of the resources that were out there. And so some of them are available. The four that I came up with, some you may know about, but others I had not heard about. But the first one is Befrienders Worldwide. And I think Jody's going to make sure you have access to all these resources. And it offers free emotional support in over 30 countries. The second one is the International Association for Suicide Prevention. And they are a directory of crisis centers from around the world. The third is Mental Health Europe, which really promotes advocacy, education, and support across Europe. And then the last one, and of course, everyone knows about this, is the World Health Organization. And they actually have a section devoted to mental health.
I was so proud to be a part of the signing of our joint letter of intent with the World Health Organization just in April, that we would be promoting awareness and engagement and creating a society that is absolutely focused on not just physical health, but mental health and well-being. Jody and others, I want to thank you for putting that list of resources in the chat. And I know that each of our regular moderators has been adding in. I've missed some of them, but we've got people calling out resources in different countries around the world. And maybe that will be the takeaway action that people will do first and foremost because of our conversation today. Kevin, do you have any closing thoughts for us?
I absolutely do. Thought long hard about what I wanted to say, and then it really just came back to the blessing that I feel for not only being a Lion, but being a part of this just wonderful organization, and the friendships and relationships that are developed, that the unforeseen gift and blessing of getting the chance to know and meet and learn from so many fantastic people from all over the world. And so my thoughts are this: just as Lions respond to natural disasters with service, we can respond to personal storms with compassion.
Mhm.
Mental health is not a side issue. It's a community issue that touches every one of us. A calm, listening ear may be the first step towards healing. Each of us has the power to listen, to care, and to guide someone towards hope. Together, as Lions and community members, we can ensure that no one suffers in silence. Let's commit to making mental health a core part of our service, just like vision, hunger, and disaster relief.
Kevin, thank you so very much. I know people are giving you all kinds of love in the chat here. Thank you for joining and sharing what has been your years of learned experience working in this space. I know that when we ask people later, what might be one of your takeaway ideas from the conversation today, there will be many. Thank you so very much, Kevin. Round of applause for our guest today. So, wow, that was a lot. That was a lot. So, what we want to do is next share with you some resources. And Jody, what have you got ready for us here first?
Well, Patty, first of all, oh my gosh, that was so amazing what Kevin just showed us. I'm going to drop some additional resources into the chat, and then I'm just going to share a few of screen to show them to you so you make sure you understand where you're going. And again, we will be sharing these out after the session. We will share everything out. Let me get to the right screen here. Apologies.
No worries.
So you'll get it for via the email with the recording. So let me move this out of the way. I did want to just highlight one of the international resources Kevin shared with us just now. And this is the International Association for Suicide Prevention. And under resources here, I don't know if you can see, there's crisis centers and helplines. Again, this is across the globe in 30 countries. So this is a great spot. All of those resources from Kevin have some great information for you to be able to access as you're supporting the people in your life and the people you come across. I want to share the Lions Clubs International page with you again. This page is got some great resources for us, including a reason why Lions and Leos and everyone should get involved in shining a light on mental health and well-being with some facts, a cell sheet or an overview sheet that I'll drop in the chat when we get done here with my screen sharing. And then the United Nations. The United Nations has an Act Now program and actions for, oops, I think I'm skipping ahead to the next piece. So mental health and well-being is so important. Let's get back to that for a minute. We'll go back to the UN later. And then last but not least, if you go to lionsvirtual.org, you're going to find all of these chat GPT resources that are created for AI, created for Lions and Leos. And if you go in Lions Serve to Grow, it can help you connect with your community partners that are in the mental health and well-being realm, along with being able to go forward and create an event that will help support mental health in your own local community with local resources. So I'm going to...
Great ideas. Great ideas. Thanks, Jody. Go ahead.
I forgot one really important piece, and this is really going to lead us into, I think, some inspiration before we go to our breakout rooms. And it's a video from Simon Sinek, and it's something that really highlights what we can all do. So please enjoy this video here. One moment, and it's coming right up.
Friend of mine, I went to her house for dinner. Hadn't seen her in a couple weeks, and just sort of catching up. I said, how have you been? She goes, last week was really, really rough. She told me what happened. I said, why didn't you call me? She goes, I did. I'm like, you didn't. She's like, I did. So I pull up my phone to prove to her that she didn't. And there in the text it says, what are you doing? Friend of mine, I went to her house for dinner. Hadn't seen her in a couple weeks. And just sort of catching up. I said, how have you been? She goes, last week was really, really rough. She told me what happened. I said, why didn't you call me? She goes, I did. I'm like, you didn't. She's like, I did. So I pull up my phone to prove to her that she didn't. And there in the text it says, what are you doing? Want to come over? Want to have dinner on Thursday? I'm like, you mean these texts? The one that sound like every other text you've ever sent me? How do I know that that's a cry for help? And so she'd read this article that said that when somebody is in need, all they need is 8 minutes of attention from a friend to feel not alone. Not to solve a problem, but just to feel not alone. And so we came up with a shorthand with each other, which is when we're in need, we text each other and say, do you have 8 minutes? What that means is, I need you. Anyone can step out of a meeting, step out of whatever they're doing for 8 minutes to call a friend and say, are you okay? You're not going to solve it. You'll get with them later for an hour or 2 hours, whatever they need, but just long enough to feel not alone. And the people who feel guilty calling you because they don't want to bother you or interrupt you, nobody feels guilty for taking 8 minutes. So my ask is adopt these little practices and be better friends to your friends.
Thank you for sharing that, Jody.
Wow.
You know, all of us could take 8 minutes. Nothing is more important than stopping when somebody just needs 8 minutes. So what are we going to do in the breakout room? Let's do what we all do best, and that is we share with each other, we learn from each other, and we inspire each other to even greater action. This is your time. Whether you've got a full-blown project already planned or you're just beginning to think about what you might do in October for our Global Service Week for Mental Health and Wellness. So, have you got a plan? If you do, awesome, share it. Have you got community partners or promotional ideas? Share those too, because what works in your community and for your idea will probably help others as well. And don't forget to introduce yourselves when you start in the breakout room. State your name, your club if you're a Lion or a Leo, and your home country. Then dive into your plans or into your community needs and leave some space for questions. People will want to ask questions about what you're thinking, what you're doing, or what your ideas are. If you're new to our conversations, welcome. We are so glad you're here. Share what you're seeing in your community when it comes to mental health and well-being, and grab some ideas to take back into action. You've got 20 minutes, plenty of time to share, inspire, and connect. And when we come back together, we're going to swap some of those great takeaway ideas as a group. Now, let's make our time count. Jody, are our breakout rooms ready?
They are.
Let's
Sending
go
you
to
all off now.
conversation.
Have fun, everyone.
It's beginning to come back. I see folks are coming back from the breakout rooms. I know that time probably went really quickly, and I hope that you really had some inspiration that you shared in those breakout rooms, whether it was a new idea or a deeper connection, or maybe just a good reminder that none of us are alone in all of this. We're in this together. Every step of the way, every act of service, we are in this together. And for those of you who might be joining us for the first time and just getting started, thank you. Seriously, beginning with an open heart and an open mind is the best way to begin every one of these conversations. Now, here's what we want all of you to do. Are you ready? We've set it up. I want you to drop one key takeaway. I know you probably have lots, but pick one key idea, one key thought, one breakaway that you want to hold on to, and you can drop it into the chat. Just one, okay? It might be a brilliant idea that you've learned from someone else, a new partner that you hadn't thought of connecting with. Maybe it's about a mental health issue that just really hit home for you today. Whatever it is, drop it in the chat. And we can't even begin to read all of these out, but I'll remind you that you can save the chat. so that you can go back and review all these great ideas. Every person matters. Help firefighters, listen to them. This has been a magical moment. Thank you. Zip the lip and listen. What a great reminder that works. Find and share that 8-minute video to start conversations. And I knew about that 8-minute video with Simon Sinek, and I just went to YouTube to find it. Clubs can host or sponsor mental health first aid. Yes, of course you can. So all of these great ideas that you were sharing here that really resonate for you are certainly going to resonate for the other people in your family, your club, your community, the groups that you come into contact with, your workplace. So feel free to take these forward and build your Global Service Week projects based on these outstanding ideas. But let's go ahead now, Jody. I know that when we timed this out, this August reboot that we're doing, we know that the International Day of Peace happens every year in September. And this year, we want to make sure people have ideas, that they have inspiration to act now. So do you have that beautiful UN Act Now webpage there?
I sure do, Patty.
Thanks, Jody.
I'm just going to quickly show you what's here. I did drop it in the chat for you, but this is called Act Now and Actions for a Peaceful World. The UN has all kinds of great ideas. Speak up for peace, educate yourself about peace, say no to violence. The list goes on and on up here about what you can do. And going back to what Patty was talking about earlier, you can educate yourself, you can advocate, and you can build awareness around any of these topics that work for you and your needs and your community's needs. Then additionally, they have choose your issue, make an impact, a just society, a healthy planet, or a better economy, with more information in each one of those that you'll find on those specific topics. So that is the United Nations Act Now, and its actions for a peaceful world this year is our focus. Patty, back to you.
Okay, well, I know that your brains have just been full of great ideas about mental health and wellness, but yes, we are shifting to this peace topic now. And we're going to give you a chance in breakout rooms to talk about what you might do for the International Day of Peace on September 21st. As before, share your name, your country, where you're from, right? And your ideas. And the moderators are going to be keeping the conversation moving and taking notes. If you are in a room without a moderator, please select a volunteer to take some notes. And when we get back together, we're going to have a short Kahoot to help capture all these great ideas. But let's talk International Day of Peace. Jody, we're ready for the breakout rooms.
All right, this time you get 15 minutes. We will see you back after you brainstorm some amazing ideas. Here you go. For those of you who are not going automatically, I am manually assigning you to rooms right now, so you should be there very soon. Awesome. Everyone should have a opportunity to go join a room. And I believe the system will take you there automatically, or you may need to push a little yes, I can go button. Hari and Marianne, are you seeing your invite?
Oh, Jody, I see all of our friends coming back to us from these breakout rooms. Some people actually were just able to join us during this breakout room. And of course, we were focused on the conversation around the International Day of Peace. What does that mean for each of us? What can we do? What are the ideas and the opportunities that we each have to help promote? And Jody, I know you had shown us that great page on the UN Take Action page. So thank you for that. We've listened. I know some of you have been planning, and we've dreamed of ways that we can really look at spreading peace in our communities and in our world. And to do that, we have to be healthy and well. So these two topics really do help support each other because, I want you to remember every project you lead, every single act of kindness, every conversation, every partnership helps to shine a light on what can sometimes feel like a dark and perhaps overwhelming global issue. But when we take action, when Leos, Lions, our friends of Leos and Lions, our partners take action, we inspire others to join us. And as we look forward to the International Day of Peace, we have a Kahoot for you. Are we ready, Daniel?
Absolutely.
Of course. Welcome back, Kahoot Master.
It is that time again in which we talk about peace in a fun and gamified fashion. So as you can see, we are playing a Kahoot. In the chat is the kahoot.it link. You need to put in the game code of 43801. It is 43801. And Kahoot is not about just getting the right question correct. It is about getting the most questions correct in a row, fastest. And so we are going to have a very short speed run Kahoot because we've had such an
Whoa.
incredible, inspirational conversations, and we are going to be reminding Kevin that he has the ability to mute himself when he wants. And hey, I'm glad you're having a good time at your council meeting this morning, sir. We have all of the people here, so let's get started, and you can join at any time. Don't worry. All of those names coming in. This is going to be a fun one. Okay. The Kahoot today is peace and mental health, and it'll build upon the conversations that you've all been having. So quiz number 1, which is often considered the foundation of both personal mental health and global peace? Is it red, wealth? Is it blue, political power? Is it yellow, inner peace? Or green, popularity? Can you get popular enough on TikTok to bring about global peace and mental health? Well, only if you have inner peace. And I think we all knew that. Let's see. Jojo is in first. Peace Dove begins with me. V and Lion, Teresa. Next question. When is World Mental Health Day observed every year? How closely were you paying attention? Is it red, October 10th, blue, December 3rd, yellow, May 15th, and green, April 7th? And of course, this year we have a global week of service around mental health during this time period. And hopefully, look at that. People have been paying attention. Yes, it is October. We will be celebrating World Mental Health Day. And Peace Dove is in first. And Nick is on the board. And Hugs for Hope is up there. Rommel is the highest climber in 10th place. All right. What percentage of countries spend less than 2% of their health budget on mental health? Is it red, 25%? Is it blue, 25%? Is it yellow, 75%? Or green, 10%? It is probably not 25% since it's there twice, would be my guess, but 75%. 75% of the countries in the world spends less than 2% of their health budget on mental health. And this is why it is important as we as human beings learn to advocate and talk to people. Who knew this? Begins with me is in second piece. Dove is still in first. Jojo, Hugs, and V. And Mo has gotten 3 answers correct. According to the World Health Organization, how many people worldwide live with depression? Is it red over 280 million, blue about 120 million, yellow over 500 million, and green about 50 million? How many people worldwide live with depression? And it is everywhere. Everyone knows someone. And it's 280 million people, which is why it's so important to let them know that it's okay to talk about it. And when you ask them how they're doing, stop and ask them again, how are you really doing? I am actually asking that question because I have 8 minutes. And with this, Hugs for Hope is in first place. Renata is in second. Wheezy's in third. We got Rabbit. And let's see, it is Lion Addo is in fourth. Next question. The phrase no health without mental health highlights what truth? Is it red? Mental health only matters for young people. Blue, mental health is less important than physical health. Yellow, mental health is only for doctors to worry about. Or green, mental health is essential to our overall well-being. Do you have to be a professional and expert? No, because mental health is essential to overall well-being. It is for all people to be concerned with. And with that, looks like the scoreboard stayed the same, although Renata has got the highest answer streak right now. So watch out. It's a word cloud. What type of peace projects are you planning for September? Very quickly, just the initial thought so we can get a scope, and maybe there'll be a word that inspires somebody to a dream of an idea that will help promote peace in their community. It's important to always sort of take time to reflect and share what we've learned, because this is a great training. Now, what are you going to do with it tomorrow and the day after and the day after? And this is why it's important. Okay, education and sharing, promoting a peace path, meditation, peace poster, online awareness, a global awareness peace poster, conference, talk by a professional, peace posters, Zoom with a speaker, musical concert, inclusive day, social media posters, a speak out contest, and making cards. You know, in my breakout room, someone said they were starting a grief share. Just come together. Let's just listen, and people who've experienced grief, let's share. Not a Lions thing, just if you've experienced grief, let's share. There's ways to do all of this. What percentage, final question, of the world's children experience anxiety or depression symptoms at some point? Is it 2 to 3% red? Is it 15 to 20% blue? Yellow, is it 5 to 10%? Or is it green over 30%? What percentage of the world's children experience anxiety or depression? And then the answer is too many. It is, yeah, 15 to 20%. 1 out of every 5 children go to a school.
Daniel,
Yes,
I know that's the statistic, but did you see that most people think it's over 30?
I do. Yeah.
And I think that reflects upon the undiagnosed people, our young people who don't have access to service, but we know they struggle from time to time. And I know the statistics tell us 15 to 20%, but our experts on this call may be closer to the true answer.
And I think that's right, because there is a mental health epidemic that has emerged out of the pandemic, and we have not seen the true impact of what that has had. So I am so grateful, though, that the people here are aware of how big the need is. So you know what? If you said over 30, give yourself the points in your head. It won't affect you winning today, but you are a winner. And with that, Rabbit is in first place, the winner of the Global Conversations about Peace, Mental Health, and Awareness. Shout out to Uggs Rope, Renata, Lion Addo C, and Jenny M. Thank you for playing. Thank you for doing all that you do. And remember, it's okay to not be okay, because you've got people around who care.
You are so right, Daniel. Thank you once again. Let's give Daniel some love for always giving us the best Kahoots. Thank you so much for doing that. And I hope that what we've done here together today allows us to go forward with courage, with creativity, and with heart. We've talked about how we can plan not only to create change, but to inspire others to join us in creating that change. And I think we can continue to prove what the world already knows, and that where there are lions, there is hope. I have seen this myself. I'm sure most of you have as well. Before we go, I am excited to share that our next global conversation about peace will be October 19th. We'll be joined again by a very special guest, that time, David Evangelista from Special Olympics. And he's going to share his thoughts about creating inclusive communities. We're also going to be celebrating the amazing projects you share on your Mental Health Global Service Week activities, and also the International Day of Peace. And don't forget, please don't forget, share your stories far and wide on social media using hashtag GCPeace, so that together we can inspire our lions, our Leos, our friends everywhere to join this movement for peace. There's one more upcoming event that we want to mention on Saturday, August 30th. Vice President of Lions International, Mark Lyon, is hosting a Marketing Lions event, and you don't want to miss this one. In fact, during this one, our friend and colleague Rich Morris will share how we can do it yourself video marketing using, are you ready? Using free apps. And as we prepare to log off, I thank you all for what you're doing, for your commitment, and for what you will do. And we're going to send you off with one of those videos created by Rich Morris in the United Kingdom. Thanks so much, Lion Rich.
I've seen the smoke rise up high. I've heard the mothers asking why, when it feels like the night won't end. We hold on to peace like a close friend. The ground may shake, the walls may fall, but love still echoes through it all. It's in the hearts that choose to stay, to listen when there's anger or there's pain. Screaming peace after the bombing's done. All together we stand.
We want to thank Rich for his creativity in generating that, and his work with Daniel for creating the musical score as well. Now, if you want to keep the conversation going, you can join us using either the QR code you see on the screen or the link that is in the chat right now. Thank you for being part of our global conversation about peace.